Hey guys, it's Simon from Sunraysia Home Loans here. Today I'm going to speak about what does a conveyancer do. Now it's a bit of a broad subject, this one, so if there's any conveyancers listening out there, please don't shoot the messenger. It's not an exhaustive list of everything they do, but they do a lot for our clients and for people when they're purchasing or exchanging properties. So I'm going to start with the basics. So in Australia, we do need a conveyancer or a solicitor to transfer a property into your name at settlement. So settlement's obviously the transfer of property into your name or the day that happens, and the vendor transfers that to you. So the main thing that a conveyancer does is actually checking through your Contractor Sales. So when you sign up with your real estate agent or your other conveyancer or solicitor, they read through all the legal paperwork to make sure that you're signing something and you understand what you're signing. They'll go through the risks and make sure you're aware of the risks and raise any red flags. That's really important. They'll amend anything that they feel needs to be amended, like all of the little clauses in the fine print. If there's something that they feel might not be putting you in a great situation, they'll have that clause amended and you'll sign off on that amendment, and the vendor will also sign off if they agree with that amendment. So obviously they'll go through all the clauses in the contract and ensure that that if you do want a finance clause or a pest inspection clause or a building clause, or also checking the settlement dates and the finance dates. So they're your legal beagle. And they also check the vendor statement or section 32 in Victoria. So it's really important stuff, and we do advise to have your conveyancer or solicitor check over your contracts prior to signing. Sometimes the industry practice may be that people sign their contracts before having them read over. There generally is a cooling off period, but we would always recommend having those contracts read over before you sign them. So to dive a bit deeper into what a conveyancer does and how they get paid and why do I need one, we'll probably start with why do I need one? Because you need one in Australia to get that property in your name, as I mentioned before. How much do they cost? Anywhere, depending on where you go and who you use, whether you're using someone local or someone interstate or someone online, probably from $1,000 all the way through to $3,000 would be the range. I would say on average in Mildura we're seeing $1,800 to $2,200 would be the rough range. Now sometimes there is fees and charges on top of that because they are responsible for doing searches. So they'll search, so do legal searches on your property, and some of those searches might be to see that there's no loans or money owing on the property or any debts or anything against the property that may be transferred to you at settlement, and their job is to make sure that those debts are not, or any negative interest, that you don't inherit them after settlement. So that's really important that they do those searches. So you'll be charged for those searches as well as part of that. They'll also do the searches to make sure that everything's complying with the legal requirements. For strata properties, they'll do a strata search to make sure that the property isn't running into negative and there's enough money in that strata, in the fund, to make sure that the complex is sustainable and that it's not going to run out of cash to run it. Bushfire searches, whether it's in a bushfire prone area, flood, all that sort of stuff, they may do searches on that for you. So that's the main things that I've written down here. How are they paid? You pay them. They don't get paid by the bank, but what happens is at settlement, the funds that we allow for your purchase, so whether that be your own contribution of funds plus the loan funds, it all goes into, I guess, a bucket of cash, and then that gets disperses out to pay for the house and pay for stamp duty and other costs, which includes your conveyancer. So they'll usually take their fee out at settlement and pay themselves. So it does get allowed for when we write a home loan for a client. We make sure we allow for all of those the upfront fees. So we know at settlement that you've got enough money to pay everything like your stamp duty and your council rates adjustments and your conveyancer. So that's probably the main things that I wanted to cover off today. There's a hell of a lot more that they do, and it's a really important job that they do. So I can't stress enough, make sure that if you are signing a contract, get your conveyancer to look at it first. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at the office or your local conveyancer. We can always provide recommendations of some good conveyancers here in Mildura or solicitors. So you reach out, touch base on the Facebook page, book a meeting online, whatever you need to do, but we're here to help. So hopefully you guys have found this video really helpful. And yeah, we'll chat soon. Thanks guys.